Have you thought about a career in mortgage? Are you thinking about becoming a loan officer? If so, this video is for you. I get this question all the time. So in today's video, I'm going to share some stats with you. I'm going to talk about some reasons why it might be a great time to get started in the mortgage industry. No, this is in no way recruiting at U Mortgage. Quite honestly, we're not hiring brand new loan officers, but I get the question quite often on YouTube. So I want to answer it. I want to help those who are starting or thinking about starting to become a loan officer, to get into mortgage, because I, in the last 10 years, have thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a great, great career for those who are passionate about helping people. Some loan officers are great at math. Others are better at talking to people. Some are great at different structuring pieces. You can quite honestly be good at different things and become a great loan officer. And I'm going to show you why with some stats, why it might be a great time. First and foremost, I want to share with you some statistics on the decline of how many mortgage loan officers there actually are in the US right now. When you think about it, people are going to get mortgages this year, next year, the year after, into the future, because they're absolutely necessary, even in a time where mortgage has slowed down because the real estate transactions, number of transactions has slowed down. There's still 4+ million real estate transactions happening every year. People move, people get new jobs, people's families grow. So there's always going to be a need for real estate transactions and the mortgages that go along with them. So over the last few years, depending on where you look, there was over 300,000 loan officers a few short years ago. That number has dipped below 100,000. I think that everything I read shows that by the end of 2024, there's going to be less than 80,000 active loan officers. Active means they're at least closing one loan every quarter. If you're doing less than one loan per quarter, you're not very active. You're not doing that as a full-time job. And with that, in my opinion, comes opportunity. Opportunity for come into a field and replace some loan officers that might have aged out. You know, they wasn't right for them and they left the industry for one reason or another. When it's harder to enter or it's harder to survive in mortgage, it shouldn't be a deterrent for you to get involved. It should be inspiration for if you get into mortgage and you're great at it and you're passionate about getting better every day, you are going to thrive. And it's an amazing profession where I feel rewarded by the good that I'm doing and the helping people change their lives through home ownership. And I'm rewarded handsomely because there's no cap. There's no income limit on what you can earn in mortgage. And so with that, when the stats I looked at, I want to say a couple things about that. One, less than 80,000 loan officers. And I also saw a stat that less than 4% of loan officers in 2023 did $20 million or more in production. 15% did $8 million more in production. For a lot of those that don't understand what that even means, let's just say that loan officers make about 1% of the loan amount on a transaction. So what this is saying is that only 4% of loan officers made $200,000 or more. And only 15% of loan officers made $80,000 or more. Now, for those looking to get into a profession where it's like, hey, I want to help people and I want to do good, but I also want to make a good living. I want to support my family. If I tell you that only 15% of loan officers make $80,000 or more, it might be a deterrent. You might be like, well, maybe it's not for me. Let me tell you this. There are plenty of loan officers I know across the country who are phenomenal loan officers who do 40 million, 50 million, 100 million. And when you use that same math, the 1% rule, you can quickly figure out, well, they do 50 million, they're making 500,000 a year. They do 100 million, they're making $1 million in a year. And that's the type of uncapped income potential that should excite you about the mortgage industry. Before I forget, I got to tell you about this partnership that I entered into. If you watched my YouTube channel for any length of time, 10 years on YouTube, I don't partner with companies willy-nilly. I really have only done it a few times. But when it comes to mortgage education and it comes to people getting started in mortgage, I'm passionate about it. I love when I talk to somebody who's 25 years old, they're thinking about getting into mortgage, because I know, investing a couple decades in this profession, there's unlimited rewards that you can see in it. So I'm going to share my screen on OnCourse Learning. I'll share the link down below. I've entered into partnership with them where if you use my link, you're going to get 10% off any of their education. Any of their education includes, if you're already a licensed loan officer, you're going to have continuing education, and you're going to pay for that. You're going to do it somewhere. You can do it with OnCourse Learning, who's done it for 3 decades plus. You can get 10% off. Or if you need exam prep or you need education, there's exam prep in here. Check this out. 90% pass rate the first time around. I just talked to a guy down in Southern California, and he took the test. He got 58%. He didn't pass it. 90% of the time, if he took this test ready test beforehand, he would have passed it. So you go here, you click get started, you use my link, you get 10% off. There's all kinds of other stuff in here where you can subscribe to learn and get better. And this I will tell you with absolute certainty. The loan officers I've seen come and go, the ones I've seen thrive in this industry are ones that are learning and getting better every day. I am constantly learning. You never get to the end of the learning journey in anything, to be quite honest, but especially when it comes to mortgage. So use OnCourse Learning as a resource. I'll leave that link down below. I don't want this whole thing to be an infomercial, but I did want to share that because I think it's a great resource for those who are thinking about getting started, need the education, they need the test prep, or they're already a licensed loan originator. They're looking for continuing education. Every year, you got to do it. Or you just want professional development. You want to get better as a loan officer. There's no better marketing than being a better loan officer and showing up, speaking from a place of experience, know what you're talking about, whether it's realtor partners, CPAs, financial advisors, or the clients that you interact with every day. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to answer it. I get people all the time that reach out to me. They DM me across different socials. You can leave a comment here on YouTube and just let me know if you're interested, what questions you have. Some of the stuff that I saw, 55% of loan officers are men, 45% are women. So those that think like, hey, this is just something that guys do, 45% of loan officers are women. And let me tell you, there's a lot of stuff that goes into mortgage loans where women's attention to detail, quite honestly, they're better than me at that, right? Really helps them out. Women's empathy and ability to relate to people and talk to people, quite honestly, a lot of women are much better than me at that. And so if you're a woman and you're thinking about getting into loans, it's a great, great industry. I can think of off the top of my head, plenty of women's groups who are doing a lot to empower women in this industry where this 55-45 stat that's pretty even as it is, I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes 50-50 in the near future, and not so quite distant future, women make up more loan officers than men. Who knows? There's also stats about ethnicity, which when I see 63% white, 15.7% Hispanic or Latino, and 9% Black or African American, my thought is that like in neighborhoods or demographics that need the education, that need the help, and more often than not, if you're looking to somebody for advice, you want someone who looks like you, talks like you, and maybe came from a similar background than you. Those different demographics should become a loan officer so they can help their communities, right? Educate them. There is so much power and so much wealth creation that you can do with real estate that I think that somebody who is really passionate about helping their community could become a loan officer to have that type of impact. So I'm going to leave you with that. This stat that I pulled up in a couple different places said the average age of the loan officer is 44 years old. I've heard from multiple sources it's in the 50s. Whatever it is, loan officers aren't getting any younger. They're continuing to get older and older. If you're younger and you're thinking about getting in this industry, the people that are in the industry now that are getting older are eventually going to retire. The fact that we're going to be less than 80,000 loan officers by the end of 2024 should be motivation enough. So any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. OnCourse Learning, link will be down below for any of your educational needs. Hope this reaches somebody that helps. Thanks for watching. And until next time, we gonna see.